After one solid year of strength training and cardio workouts, both at home and in a gym, there are 5 fitness products that I absolutely refuse to buy. Some of my reasons might not be typical, but I think they're good ones. I'm going to tell you exactly what those 5 products are and why I refuse to buy them. Hi, I'm Stacy. Thank you so much for dropping in. I hope you enjoy this video. So I just want to preface this by saying that this is not meant to be commentary on what I think anybody else should be doing. We all have our own, unique circumstances and needs and all of that sort of thing. And so I'm just explaining my decisions based on my own circumstances. And, perhaps you can relate and maybe you won't be able to, and that's okay. But I would love to hear your thoughts either way down in the comments. So the first fitness product that I refuse to buy is one of those full at-home gym systems. And also more free weights, like more dumbbells and kettlebells and that sort of thing. And the reason for this is actually twofold. Number one, space. That is a problem. We have a limited space in our house for this sort of stuff. But really even the bigger issue there is, for me, is that if I bring that sort of stuff into the house, too much of that kind of stuff into the house, what it's going to do is I'm going to find myself not going to the gym as often as I go. I go 3 days a week typically. And I love going to the gym and I look forward to it and it's a great outlet for me, but I know myself with my busy schedule, and if I have a lot of that stuff, just handy laying around the house ready for me to use, I will probably oftentimes make up excuses as to, I should just go downstairs and do this, or I should just go out in the garage or whatever and do this and save myself the, 20 minutes commute, 10 minutes each way, and put that time to use doing something else. And honestly, I don't want to do that because it's good for me to get out of the house and go to the gym. I work from home. I have a home office, and so I work full time from home. So getting out and going other places outside the house is really healthy for me. So I don't want to set myself up so well that I just don't have a need. Now, when I first started, the first 5 months, I've talked about this in other videos, I did work out strictly at home and I had good reason for that, but it was never intended to be that way forever. And so I do have like a basic setup. I think my dumbbells and my kettlebells go up to 20 pounds. So I have several different weights up to 20 pounds. And that allows me to do my cardio workouts at home. And I have a few other things too, obviously. But it's, I lift much heavier than that now on my strength training days. And so I have to go to the gym to be able to do all of that. So that is good for me, and I don't really want to throw anything into that. I don't want to throw a monkey wrench into that whole deal and then end up cutting my time away from the gym. It's just a good thing for me to go do. And so the other thing is, I did mention space being an issue, and I will point this out in case you don't know about this, and perhaps you want to have heavier dumbbells at home, but you don't want to have, a bunch of them or having to have towers of them or racks of them or whatever, is I will put a picture up here, but there are either here or here, there are the adjustable dumbbells, and they are a little pricey for the good ones, but if you haven't already bought a bunch of other dumbbells, then perhaps it makes a lot of sense. I haven't bought those, again, for the same reasons that I just mentioned. But, if it's something that you might need that might work better for you, then maybe you don't have a gym anywhere near you or something. I don't know. Everybody's got different circumstances. So in case you didn't know about those, I just wanted to put them on your radar. The second product is cute but highly uncomfortable workout gear, like apparel. I like to look stylish as much as the next person, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of being like sucked in and, just like things, bands everywhere, they're cutting in and, just being uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it. So I look for apparel that is really comfortable and also stylish. My favorite line right now for my fitness apparel is called Groceries, and they are amazing. They actually make their apparel down in Los Angeles, California, and I prefer apparel that's made out of like organic cotton / maybe recycled, like polyester is made from recycled plastic, and things that are more environmentally friendly. And if I can. And so Groceries offers a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's such a fun name, isn't it? But they dye their apparel using scraps of fruits and vegetables, and somehow they can break them down and use them as dyes. And I'll put a link to their website down below. I just love their stuff so much. I constantly in their workout gear. It's comfortable. I can be in it all day, and I'm just perfectly comfortable. And it's stylish, you know, and I love supporting. It's a smaller business, and you know, yeah, they're a good one. So there's others out there too, obviously. But yes, I'm not doing the, you know, I've bought the expensive stuff, you know, and the super high, like, popular name brands, and I got to tell you, a lot of that stuff was highly uncomfortable. It looked great, but highly uncomfortable. So yeah, not doing that anymore. Okay, the third product I refuse to buy is those barefoot, five-toed fitness shoes. Yeah, I just, I cannot get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did mention that I like to look stylish, right? I just can't. I know that there's some benefit in them, for sure. For different ways that you can, you know, utilize for different types of fitness. When it comes to strength training, it's helpful in that when you're lifting a heavy load, when you're lifting really heavy, especially like big compound movements, for your feet, your toes to be able to splay outwards, and that's what those shoes allow you to do, because it just gives you better, you know, balance and your just the way you distribute your weight and stuff. So I understand why people would want to wear them for strength training, you know, and I know there's other uses for them. I just can't right now. You know, the reason I wear my Converse sneakers, I always work out in my Converse sneakers, and well, first of all, I love them. I'm a Converse girl. I have been for a very long time. But second of all, they're very flat, and that's the other thing you want in a shoe when you're, from what I've learned, that's what you want in a shoe when you're in the gym and you're lifting heavy, is you want your feet to be flat. So, you know, some people will, if they're in a gym that will allow it, or even in their home gym, if they've got like you know, a rack system and everything at home, is just be in your socks, because then your toes can splay outward. But you know, at a gym like where I go, I've not seen anybody just doing stuff in their socks, and I don't think I'll be the first. So, so I just use my Converse sneakers. At least they're flat. And honestly, the toe box on those is not super small either. It's not, my toes don't splay totally, but you know, it's not bad. But you know what? Maybe someday I'll change my mind. I mean, I used to, as an example, like really have a whole lot of attitude about Birkenstocks. Didn't like them, thought they were horrible, and for many, many years. And then, you know, one day I just thought, you know, those are sort of cute when they're worn the right way, and by, you know, just depending on the whole outfit and stuff. And I hadn't seen people wearing them like that back in the day. You know, it was a whole different look. And so I changed my mind and ultimately bought myself a cute little white pair of Birkenstocks. So they even have the vegan leather ones now. So I was very happy. So anyways, yeah, that's, maybe I'll get there. Maybe I'll get there with the toe shoes, the barefoot shoes. I don't know. I've got 2 more products to tell you about, but if you're enjoying this video so far, it would mean the world to me if you would tap that like button. Also leave me a comment if you'd like to. I love to hear from y'all. I read them all. I respond to them all. Also, if you want to see more content about natural, holistic self-care for women over 50, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So the 4th fitness product that I refuse to buy is one of those wearable fitness trackers. Now, I know this one might be a bit controversial because people love those things, but I have several reasons for it. Number one, I know a lot of people like them to like track their steps and try to get in the 10,000 steps and that sort of thing. Because I'm so active with my strength training and my cardio workouts, and then just being up and around a lot anyway, I'm not really concerned about that, because I am active. And also too, I don't know if you've heard this, you probably have by now, but the 10,000 step thing is kind of an arbitrary number. It's really not based on any health data. It turns out that that was a marketing campaign, and I can't remember what organization did it many years ago, but it was designed to get people up and moving, basically, because people, you know, get to be so sedentary sometimes. So I'm not concerned about tracking my steps or that sort of thing. Now, I will say I did think about getting one briefly when I first started doing my cardio workouts, because when I do my sit training, which is sprint interval training, that one is where you go at like as hard as you can at some sort of cardio. You go as hard as you can for like 30 seconds, and then you rest for like 2 minutes, and then you do that like 5 times or more. And I thought, oh, it would be good to know like what my heart rate is getting up to, right? And figuring out what my max is, and then like just having an awareness around that. But then I learned quickly, and thank goodness before I bought one, that you really can't track for sit cardio. You really can't use a heart rate monitor, because you get your heart rate up so quickly and then you stop so suddenly. But when you stop, because it's such a short period of time, like 30 seconds, when you stop, your heart rate is still going up. So your heart rate is not, when you stop at the 30 seconds, your heart rate is not at the max. It's going to continue to go up for several seconds, maybe 5 seconds or so after you stop. So, and I can actually feel that happen. And so now I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't have made much sense. That would not have been very helpful. So I'm glad I did not spend the money on it for that reason. Another reason that I wasn't too excited about getting one of these back when I was sort of considering it was because I had around that time heard Dr. Stacy Sims talking about the fact that these trackers can be useful tools for certain things, but they're kind of the opposite of helpful in some ways, because apparently the algorithms that these tools they utilize are based a lot on men's health data and not very much on women's health data. And so there's a lot of nuances that should be included if they were truly truly tailored to women's bodies. And since they're not, some of the data you're getting out of them is not helpful at all. And so I don't know, that in combination with the other things, I just was not real excited about spending my money on something like that. And I will link to a couple of her short videos that she's done here on YouTube. I'll link to those down in the description where she's talking about that. You might find it interesting. And the other one is probably the biggest reason for me, and it is just like, I just don't like the vibe of like tracking every single thing that my body is doing, or tracking every single thing in my day-to-day life. It just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't feel right to me. Now, I know that's not true for everyone. Some people love that kind of stuff. Just for me, it doesn't feel right, so I just don't do it. And it's not to say I don't track anything ever. Of course I do. But it's the tracking, it's the constant tracking of things that just doesn't work for me. So I did not spend my money on one of those, needless to say. And the last product I definitely refuse to buy is a non-gender, non-age specific workout program, meaning one that's kind of designed for everybody, men and women, 20-year-olds up to 50-year-olds and beyond. I have learned over this last year that is not helpful for a woman my age to be doing that, to be doing those kind of programs. In fact, it's the opposite of helpful in many cases. And so if you want to learn more about that, I would say to look into Dr. Stacy Sims' work. I'll link to her channel below. She gets into the science and explains why that is so. After we start to go through perimenopause, and the hormone changes and all of that, a lot of the things that you would do in one of those sort of general programs are actually the opposite of helpful. And so I was like, if I'm going to put in all the time and effort, I want to be sure I'm doing a program that is designed for women, number one, and also specifically for women that are, in my case, postmenopausal, but even perimenopausal. Like, I think it's pretty much the same kind of workout program that benefits all of those sort of age ranges and those 2 stages of life. So the ones I use, if you've watched my videos before, you've heard me talk about them. They're by Haley Babcock. She's a certified personal fitness trainer. She is incredible. She's been doing it a very long time. And she has, her business is Haley Happens Fitness. She has many different fitness programs. I have done several of them now, and I love them. I think they're fantastic, and I've gotten so many great results from them. And so anyway, I'll I'll link to her website down below too. Also, I was able pretty recently to secure a discount code for my viewers. And so I will go ahead and leave that on the screen and also down below. And that way, if you check out her programs and you want to get a discount, you can use that code. But yeah, I just will not spend my money ever again on a sort of like a general workout program, because what would work for me when I was in my 20s or 30s is not going to work for me now. And you know, that's just sort of the reality. So that's it. Those are the 5 products. I would love to know what products you refuse to buy and why, whether they're fitness related or not. I would love to hear about it. So drop me a comment and let me know. Other than that, I want to thank you so much for dropping in and watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. YouTube seems to think you'll like this one too. So, you know, maybe check it out. Other than that, I will be back real soon. I hope you have a great day. Take good care.